But I do have answers for one of your questions. The question, and not even the question, but the statement that you started to make earlier. I have exact times on this because they recapped Rhea Ripley turning on Liv Morgan, and then they had a backstage interview where Liv recited a memorized, prepared statement, much as you would when you've been accused of a crime or you're entering your plea in court. And the entrances for the 6-girl tag main event started at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. At 10:30, the 6-girl tag entrances start. The bell rings to start the 6-girl tag at 10:44.
Wow. Wow.
They figured out some way to get 14 minutes out of entrances, commercial breaks, and a couple of unrelated packages. And then we had Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, and Cruella de Vil against Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, and Asuka. And I liked half this match. Actually, I liked 3.5 parts of this match. Rhea Ripley has the size, the attitude, the personality. She works like a man, which is the ultimate compliment that any of the girls in the business are ever given. Well, I don't know about now. They probably get mad. But in the historical wrestling business, when you told one of the girls she worked like a guy, that was the ultimate compliment. And Ripley does. It's almost impossible for most girls, partially because the way they're put together. But she's got it. The size, the reach, the body language, the facials, the attitude, everything. Bianca Belair is much better than she should be for her level of experience because she's not been in the business that long. And now that I've seen her a couple times against some of the few other really talented women, I'm a fan of Bianca Belair. Except for she'd be happy going to her fucking dog's funeral. That's the only complaint I got. I wish she would skip and happy a little less in certain situations. Becky Lynch, like you said, is a star. She can work. She can talk. She's a heel. She's a personality. Cruella, I mentioned, has a great look. Jury is out on her work, so I like half of her. Liv and Oscar cluttered this fucking thing up for me. Just so you know.
Well, I know your problems with Asuka, because you've gone into them in the past. What was the problem specifically with Liv Morgan here in this match?
She's small. Obviously she can't talk because she just does the memorized shit. She looks like one of those girls that's too purty and too small. And I don't buy her at the level I do the other girls because she doesn't convince me. And, she looks like the kind of the lingerie models that Johnny Ace was trying to hire. And Oscar, let's face it. Come on. I'm racist because I don't like outlaw mud show indie Japanese talent that can't wrestle. But yet a major publicly traded corporation is making that girl act like that on television, and that's not racist? Bullshit. Just so everybody's clear. But in this match, the people cared. The work didn't suck. There are some stars in it. And even what we saw was the best match of the show. And Rhea and Bianca were good together. I'd like to see a singles match. Pretty much otherwise than that, the Oscar especially screaming, and there was some sloppiness with Liv and Oscar and Cruella. And then at the finish, everybody did anything. Everybody did everything to everybody. And then everybody disappeared and went to the bunker under the ring again, except for DeVille and Liv Morgan. And they did some stuff. And then Bianca distracted Cruella and Liv beat her. And that was the end of that. And by the way, I saw the finish, the literal exact moment that the finish happened, and my DVR froze. Were they about to go over time, or what happened afterwards? Did you see
I'm
any
not
of that?
sure. No, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I actually thought Sonya Deville was the one who seemed offbeat with everyone else. I apologize for any noise. They're doing some construction here in the house. But
what is that, a jackhammer?
It's not a jackhammer, but what I was saying is...
A genetic jackhammer? You got 4 kids.
I thought it was Sonya Deville that was the problem in the match more than Liv Morgan or Asuka.
Well, I didn't say she could work. I said the jury's out on that. I like the way she looks, and she can talk, but there was some clutter in there. But again, if you can't find 6 to be in the main event on Raw, where's Freddie Prinze going to find a whole roster of them?
Hey, I got to tell you though, Becky Lynch, like I said before, I can't take my eyes off her. Everything she does, she's so invested in that it's like the best kind of wrestler. I want to see everything she does from the moment she starts talking, although sometimes it's a little too rehearsed, but she does better with it. It's like her and Cody are the 2 best, maybe. And then her in the ring, just from the moment she walks down there, everything she does, she's one of the very, very best. She's really, really good.
Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd feel like heaven to touch.
I was talking about the way she carries herself in the ring, not the fucking Frankie Valli.
You're just too good to be true. What's too good to be true over on the Arcadian Vanguard network this week?
Oh,
how's
really?
That one?
Right now when they're banging right above my fucking head?
Give us some banging news on all your various programming this week.
Another banging week on the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network. Get information about all the shows on Twitter at Superpodcast or on Facebook at facebook.com/Superpodcast. I'm debating whether I should yell and just be a preemptive strike.
You sound like Robin Leach on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. I'm screaming and I don't know why. You know, people last week when I had the gravel trucks over here, they said, God damn, that Arcadian Vanguard editing team sure does a good job because Jim and Brian are both screaming and we can't hear shit.
Oh, I don't think there's any editing around this noise here today, but back to the plug. This week on the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network, on Shut Up and Wrestle with Brian Solomon at suawpod.com or available wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Brian's guest is Stephen Bell, author of Dynamite and Davey, The Explosive Lives of the British Bulldogs, a brand new book. Hear that interview today at suawpod.com or look for Shut Up and Wrestle with Brian Solomon wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Also want to make mention of the latest Patriot episode for Breaking Kayfabe with Baldwin and Barry patrons, a very special one where the boys talk with Bobby Reynolds, who runs the Facebook group, Whatever Happened to Your Favorite Porn Star? Hear that today.
Wait a minute, I've got a list of people I've been looking for.
Well, then you may need to hear this episode of the special Breaking Kayfabe with Baldwin and Barry interview on porn. Hear it today. I can't believe I'm doing this plug. Patreon.com/Baldwin and Barry. Of course, you can hear Breaking Kayfabe wherever you find your favorite podcast, or go to BaldwinPod.com.
Whatever happened to Serena?
Serena,
she was a big star.
I don't know. I just saw that Tashin Books is putting out, I couldn't believe it when I came in the Tashin catalog, like a deluxe Vanessa Del Rio book. Just filled with the filthiest photos ever.
Well,
in a very tasteful manner. Tasha.
It even comes with its own asshole.
Once again, patreon.com/Baldwin and Barry. Or go to BaldwinPod.com and you can actually click a link to take you right to the Patreon page. Also,
can you click a link to take you right to the asshole?
You may just have to make a phone call. I'm not exactly sure how up on technology they are, Vanessa Del Rio. I don't know why we're talking.
How up the ass they are on this thing.
Well, to move on with the plug, want to make mention, for those of you Mid-South Wrestling fans, I now have for sale original 1984 Mid-South Wrestling calendars. These are off the press. They were in a box for almost 40 years. Of course, now that Arcadian Vanguard owns the assets of Pro Wrestling Enterprises, we have this. These are original. If it is something you are interested in, go look for my Twitter page. I'm at GreatBrianLast on Twitter, or of course, tinyurl.com/superpodstore to pick up your copy today.
Or if you want to go over to the Home Depot in Teterboro, he'll be selling some out of the trunk of his car at 3 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon.
Oh, will you stop? And I don't fuck around with Teterboro anymore. And of course,
that's right. You stay in Secaucus.
The 605 Super Podcast, fuck Secaucus, the mothership! Boy, what do the people doing construction think now? Go through the archive today at 605pod.com, available wherever you find your favorite podcast. I hope they're not listeners. The Mothership.
I hope they're not listening. I hope they're doing the work they're supposed to be doing.
Can you hear this noise? Tell me, can you hear this?
Well, I thought that was you just wiggling around and farting and shit.
No, that's not me wiggling around. It's the construction people.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Well, it sounds like you've got somebody trapped in your wall, inside the wall. Is that what are you finally letting that guy out that tried to crawl in through the crawl space and got stuck behind your wall?
Jesus Christ.
Jeez, what
the fuck are they doing?
He don't want to come out.
All right.
Well, don't worry, folks. Jay Sharknado will take care of all of that. You'll never hear a thing.